will always be seen as what you lead with. If you lead with money, you're going to be seen as money.
What's good, you guys, and welcome on another episode. How are you guys doing? I hope you all are doing great. And if you are joining for the very first time, thank you so much for being here today. There's a creator who we have here today who is referencing to a particular post or video she came about where she talked about the person was saying that why is it that the wealthy, the people who are in a very wealthy, healthy relationship don't come online to give relationship advice? Why is the relationship advice always coming from people who, have dated roasted men who are with maybe their sugar daddies who maybe snatched the husband from the main wife? Like, it's a whole real conversation. So without wasting much time, let me just roll the clip of the video that started this entire conversation.
So I just seen this girl make a video and she was like, why is it that the girls who are single and serially dating and they have rosters, why are they the ones giving out their game card and giving relationship advice instead of the women who are actually like happily married to wealthy men who spoil them? And I also want to add, why are the women who married their sugar daddies giving advice as well? Because I'm so sorry, you were doing sex work when you met that man. You met him as a sex worker and he left his wife and the family to marry you because you were younger and hotter than his wife who popped out 3 kids and who's the same age as him. Oh my god, I can't believe she showed signs of aging. Like, I'm not taking advice from you hoes either. But why are they the ones giving relationship advice and not the ones who are actually happily normally married to wealthy men? Why aren't they giving any advice? And the answer to that is that they don't have any advice to give. And this is very okay, put it like this. There's people who have naturally clear skin and there's people who had to struggle with acne, right? I have naturally clear skin genetically. Neither one of my parents have ever had acne. Both of my parents have always had clear skin. They passed it on to me. They did also pass on to me terrible eyesight though. Both my parents wear glasses. You know I wear glasses, right? We all get it dealt our hand. So I don't have any advice to give you about skincare. I grew up washing my face with just hot water and putting lotion on my face and I didn't have no fucking acne. Now, if you're somebody who struggled with acne and you had to go through that trial and error of how to get your skin clear, you have advice. You have methods. You have techniques. You can share that, right? Some women just naturally give the type of woman to where men want to spoil them and they attract good men who fall in love with them, who don't just see them for their body or what they can do physically, but they actually fall in love with those women, and those women are afforded a nice life because of that, because they had a man of means happen to fall in love with them and they didn't do anything extra about it. It just happened, right? Then you have other women who have had terrible experiences, or maybe they dated broke guys or whatever the case may be, and they had to implement techniques. They had to implement methods. They had to basically learn how to manipulate people. They had to level up their whole life and change who they were and all this other kind of stuff in order to be able to get that from a guy, right? So to answer your question, that's why those women are not giving relationship advice. The women who you see who are married to their sugar daddy and or who are single with a roster and they're just serially dating, the reason why they can give you advice is because they're having so many different experiences and they're using so many manipulation tactics while they're dating that they have advice to give. They've done so much dating trying to find this perfect man who's going to have all this money and who's going to treat them perfect, and they have not found it. So they've gone through all this trial and error. So that's why they can now, or at least they think, they can come on here and give the rest of us advice, even though we don't want their situation. But that's why they feel as if they have the right to give advice, because they have so much experience trying. Whereas the women who just happen to end up happily married to a rich man, they don't have advice because, one, they're living their life. They're not looking for that life, they're living it. And two, it just fell in their lap. They don't have no formula to share, baby. Like that white couple on here, who they come and show their outfit of the day and the husband always calls her Pookie. I don't know why y'all think they're weird. They don't give weird to me. They just give a regular couple. I don't know, but they don't give weird to me. But anyways, they made a video about how they met. Literally, he said he was at a bar. He saw her. She was the prettiest woman at the bar. That's what he thought. He went up to her, starts talking to her. They hit it off. He fell in love with her, and he married her a year later or something like that. That's what he said. That's why she's not on here giving relationship advice. She didn't have to put no spell on him. She didn't have to use no manipulation tactics. He just happens to be rich, and he saw her, liked her, fell in love with her, and married her. She didn't go out of her way for that. She didn't have to manipulate him. She didn't have to use any techniques or methods. She was just being herself, and he fell in love with her, and he happened to got money, and he used it to spoil her. That's it. That's why those women are not giving advice, okay? In my opinion, the only dating advice that you should really be using is advice that teaches you how to become the better person and teaches you how to understand the opposite sex. But once you get into all this, oh, you need to put a spell, and you need to do this, and you need to do that, and you need to tell him this, and you need to lie to him about this, and don't tell him that, and all that other stuff, baby, if he really like you, you don't have to do any of that. I promise. I promise you that if a man likes you, you will not have to manipulate him whatsoever to get him to treat you right or to get him to give you money.
What do you guys think about what this lady said? There are some people agreeing to her, and there are some people as well that are not agreeing to her points because they believe it's not all of them, that it just falls on their lap, like they just meet them without having to manipulate them. So I would like to hear what you guys think about what she said in the comment section. A lot of people are coming in. There was a lady as well who said she's happily married to a high value man. She shared her own view as well, and there are other people as well who do not agree with what she said, sharing their opinion on what they think the case is. So without wasting much time, let me just roll the clip and let's see what these people have to say about our video.
Why is it that the girls who are single and serially dating and they have rosters, why are
Hi, happily married wife, married to a high value man, and I have a couple of tips to sprinkle on you. Number one, don't look for a man that leads with his money. If a man thinks that you're only with him for his money, or that is what you are attracted to, when you are attracted to him, he's going to forever hold that money over your head, and I don't think that's what you're looking for. My favorite kind of wealthy people are the ones that you don't even realize are wealthy because they're just minding their business and living their private lives. Those are the people that you want to look for. You're probably wondering, like, well, where do you find these wealthy men that don't lead with their money? Well, first, let me tell you where they're not. They're not in the club buying sections. They're not at the day parties. They're not at anything being advertised on Instagram. Because if you know, like I know, when people have something big to lose, they don't really hang around people who don't have anything to lose. So where can you find high value men? Well, high value men, they go to private events, they go to sporting events, they go to galas, they go to birthday celebrations, they go to weddings, they go to conferences, and that is a big one. You might even find some of them in the gym and in the grocery store, but here's the thing. They're not going to be there in the middle of the day. They're going to be there very early in the morning. I'm talking 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, super early, because if you are wealthy and your wealth did not come from inheritance, 9 times out of 10, you have worked very hard for that wealth. And a hardworking man is the best kind of man to get. So grocery store, very early in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning. Back to the conferences, you can literally pick what career you would like to date someone from. And there are conferences for everything. I have never seen a broke man with money for a conference. So if you're looking for a dentist, you can look up when the National Association of Dentistry conferences. If you're looking for a real estate investor, look up the National Real Estate Investors Conference. If you're looking for a veterinarian, like, you get the drift. There's conferences for literally every single type of professional sector that there are. And most of the time, successful men like to keep up their network and they attend these conferences. Buy yourself a ticket, attend, and network. The last tidbit that I'm going to just drop on you today before I leave is don't sleep on the quiet guy. Don't sleep on the nerdy guy. I know when we were in high school and in college, nobody ever wanted to go for the quiet guy who didn't, wear all the flashy brands. But now that I'm a little bit older, it seems to me like all the guys who were super popular and the top athletes that were well known in high school and everybody knew their name, and they peaked at high school. And a lot of them are still reading at high school level, if you know what I mean. If you want to go for someone with a little bit more status, I guarantee you, go look at the people who were the quiet, nerdy ones in your high school. See what they're up to now, and I think you'll see what I'm talking about.
So I just seen this girl make a video and she was like, why is it that the girl...
So I see this video and it's going pretty viral, and she's saying that basically the women who marry wealthy men, it just happens to them. They didn't have to do anything special, and that's why they're not getting online and giving advice. I believe that she is wrong for a plethora of reasons. Let's start with number one. Unless your parents have money and you are around these men, you are going to have to do work to find these men, okay? Unless you frequent in these circles, like let's say your parents are doctors, lawyers, whatever the case may be, then you don't have to do much to meet these men. But the women who came from poor backgrounds and they met these men, they had to do something to meet them, okay? They didn't just meet them walking down the street. No, they had to put themselves in the positions to meet these men. That's how they met them. Now, for her next point about, oh, that's why they're so quiet about it. Not every man that you get with, you're going to be able to get on TikTok and discuss how you guys met. Okay? That's why a lot of them are quiet. A lot of these men have high-powered jobs as investment bankers. They're public on LinkedIn, whatever the case may be. They're a CEO of a national company. His wife cannot go on TikTok and said she met him as a high-end schmeck, whatever. Or she met him doing XYZ. She met him when she was whatever. She cannot say that because her husband is in a position of power. She cannot say that. Her husband says, no, you cannot get on TikTok and discuss how we met. Or they make up a lie on how they met. We met on Bumble, or we met on a dating app, or a friend of a friend. No, they're just saying that as a cover story, okay? Not every rich man you're going to get with, you're going to be able to get online and sell a course and be yada, yada, yada. Some rich men require privacy when you date them. Some men are super wealthy that you're not going to be able to get on TikTok and start blabbing your mouth away. You're going to mess up your bag. 2. For the women that are reading that video and saying, oh, I don't need to do nothing to meet a rich man, I can just go out and meet him. No. Unless your parents, I will say it again, it's my last time saying it. Unless you're already frequenting in those circles, your parents have money, you're around friends who have lots of money, you're going to have to do work to get in that circle to meet these kinds of men. You're not going to meet him at your everyday grocery store. No, you're going to have to put yourself in positions to meet these men. Okay? And another thing I have to add to this, not all of us are going to marry rich, okay? Just because you listen to Sprinkle, just because you listen to these, buy a course, she met her husband on Bumble, I'm going to meet him on Bumble. Not everybody, just because one girl did something and she was able to score lucky with it, doesn't mean that you're going to score lucky with it. Everyone's life path is different, okay? Everyone's life is different. Not everyone is going to marry a rich man, okay? No matter how many courses you watch, no matter if you watch Sprinkle Lady all day, you buy all of her courses, some women are not meant to marry rich. And I think you have to get to that understanding that, hey, maybe I'm just not meant to marry rich. Because if all of us are meant to marry rich, who's going to marry the regular guys? So take everything what you hear with a grain of salt. Just because this person met him at a golf course does not mean you need to be going to a golf course every single Saturday, okay? If it's meant to be, it will be. But not everybody is meant to marry rich. And the men, when you do end up marrying a guy who's rich, most likely you're not going to be able to get on TikTok and start blabbing your mouth about, oh, this is how we met, yada, yada, yada. You have to keep secrecy. You might be able to show the private jets and show what you're eating every day and show your maid, but you have to keep your mouth shut about how you guys met, who your husband is, yada, 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 because your husband needs that discretion.
who are single and serially dating and they have rosters, why are they the ones giving out their game card?
As she said in her video, it's because these women want to teach you how to be a manipulator. They don't want to teach you how to be a woman worth marrying. There are plenty of women and men who give advice on how to be a marriageable woman, but they get called pick-me's and misogynists. You will always be seen as what you lead with. If you lead with money, you're going to be seen as money. If you lead with your body, you're only going to be seen as body. If you lead as a class act good person, you'll be seen as that, and you will attract people who are also that, who just so happen to have money.
Who are single and serially dating and they have rosters, why are they the ones giving out their game card?
All right, so I kind of got bit of a like added take to what sis was saying about, you know, the whole dating thing, because clearly, you know, that's the topic of conversation with so many people. And my thoughts are like, what if it's just like a timing thing, right? So what if the way your life is supposed to go, you're supposed to get or connect with whoever at this time in your life? I don't want to give a timeline because I don't want to put any false hope into anyone. What if it's like you're supposed to do all of these things, experience all of these things, and then connect with someone, right? Like, I think a lot of us have been swayed, I don't even want to say tricked, but somehow to believe that, you know, yes, we do want connection. Yes, we do want partnership. That's great. But it's a matter of saying, like, aside from said connection, like, what do you want out of your life, right? Because so much of that connection and so much of that partnership is still going to be an individual experience that you're going to have with your own personal growths and expansion and evolution. That it's a matter of what if, you know, and a lot of women do this and they've said it, like, they've lost themselves in these relationships. They've lost themselves once they have the kids, and once they get into this routine and they're too busy putting everyone and everything else first, and they neglect themselves in a lot of different ways. And so it's a matter of like, what if it's not just advice, and what if it's more so if it's a timing thing, like it's just not your time yet. You know what I mean? And I know a lot of people, especially myself, don't even want to accept that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm young, I'm fly, I'm fruitful now. Like, what's up? But, you know, sometimes there are things in our own individual walk in life that we need to experience, grow from, you know, whatever. Like, let's say, I don't know, you want to move to a whole other country, and you go live in the country for about 10 years or something like that, and you're enjoying yourself and you're having a good time, and, you know, and everything like that. And then, you know, you fly back to see your family and everything like that. And, you know, you meet someone on the plane. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know. You know, I'm not saying that's everyone's walk to live like that. And then also, if it's not a necessary of timing, what if as time progresses, you make the conscious decision in your life that you don't want partnership? You just want to radically date, or, you know, and get to know people, and just, you know, what if you step into that type of, and I'm not saying that, because I know most people want connection, I know that, but I'm just saying, what if it's a timing thing? What if it's you may not want it when it comes, or I don't know. That's not 2 cents.
Are they the ones giving out their game card and giving relationship advice instead of the women who are...
Hi, I'm a romance author, and I've been in a relationship with my woolly mammoth for the past 11 years. So I just wanted to hop on here and give some advice. But before I do, let me just create some context, because I love what you said about not asking for skincare advice from someone who's never had acne. And side note, I'm an esthetician today because I struggled with acne in high school. But anyway, back to our relationship. It wasn't always peaches and cream. So we ended up filing for divorce right around the 7-year mark. And the reason why is because I was abusive, he was abusive, and ultimately we just weren't happy. And here's where people would get the advice that I'm about to give wrong, because they would think that I'm trying to say, just stick it out, make it work. No, if you're unhappy, leave. Like, because at the end of the day, a relationship is not about two codependent people coming together. It's about two independent people who choose to be together, if you're monogamous like that. But here's where I want to give just a little bit of nuance, because a lot of the time, if you're staying in a relationship but you're unhappy, the reason why is because you have a lack of resources. Where else are you going to go if you don't have a home? So for those of you listening who know someone in an unhappy relationship, do not judge them for sticking around. Be that resource. Create an environment for them to go to for safety. And also, yeah, if you guys have any questions or want some more advice from someone who's lived a full life, leave them in the comments. Like, also, happy Valentine's Day. It's a special holiday because I'm literally a Valentine. Like that is the name on my driver's license. So Happy holiday season and ask away. I'm your guinea pig.
I love what the first woman and the other lady that stick to the video said. The very first woman was talking about how you shouldn't look for somebody who will lead by money, because if they figure out that you're there with the money, they will always hold that money, over your head, because that's why you're there. And if they continue to hold it over your head, you continue to reach to it, which will even make you stay longer than you should have in a relationship that you shouldn't be in. The second lady was talking about how if you don't, or if you're not born rich, if you don't grow up among these rich people, you have to do some certain things to be able to meet these particular people. And I feel like she's very, very right, because not everybody just get it right and it just falls on their lap and it just happens like that. I feel like really agree to the second stage. The second stage is literally talking about the real reality of how it is. And I totally agree with what she said about how these type of men don't even like their business being on social media. Like, you can't be dating the top people, businesses in companies, in tech companies, who like their life very private and be wanting to be online and say some certain things, or just reveal every part of their life on social media. I feel like it's very, very risky for them, and as well for the lady as well, because she talked about how you can even form goodie bag like that. Many of those people have so much to lose, and I know that they will not even appreciate someone who every instances post them or talk about them, or make the whole identity of their page or Instagram or TikTok about the man that they marry. I agree to the fact that a lot of people like this will want their privacy, because there's a lot on the line for them to lose if all their businesses is online. Let's not even forget the fact that the devil works hard, but there are some people on social media who actually works harder. Maybe you just post a little snippet of the man, or just say a little detail that you don't know that you're even giving so much away. There are people who will do the digging, and before you know it, they are posts from 2001, they are posts from 1984, they are like, you will see so many things. So many of these people online don't even care about your own happiness to begin with. So why do you want to put your family, your man, and all of that online? So I would like to hear your thoughts about what they all said in the comment section. What do you think about what the very first lady said? What do you think about what the other people said as well? Because the very first creator was just talking about how it just happened easy for them, and that's why they have nothing to say. A lot of these people actually have their own stories to tell, but because of the position their husband or their man holds, they will just decide to be quiet. So that is what is best for their family. So it doesn't just fall on the laps of all these people who get the good, the wealthy people. So I would like to hear what you guys think about this in the comment section. Thank you all so much for joining. And if you have not subscribed, please subscribe before you go and turn your bell notification on. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. And I love you.